App service mobile app, another type of app service application. So all the time till now, we have worked with app service web app. We have seen how we can develop a web app, that is a website, host it in Azure portal in different ways, and in the web app making use of the storage account and the database services. Another beautiful feature of app service is the mobile apps. And today we all pretty well know the kind of role mobile apps play in enterprise application development. Rather, in many cases, there is always a combination of a mobile app and a web app. So here, how does Azure makes it simple to develop a mobile application for different platforms is what we are going to study. Yes, we are going to have applications which are going to be for iPhone, Android, and so on. But at the same time, through mobile apps, Azure mobile apps, we can also develop a server side component, a server service. Eventually, we are going to see how we can have authentication through Facebook or Azure Active Directory, how to do offline async and push notification. But let us first understand what are mobile apps. Now, mobile apps in Azure App Service offer a highly scalable, globally available mobile application platform for enterprise developers and system integrators that bring a rich set of capabilities to mobile developers. See, basically, first and most important thing is we want high productivity in development. Mobile apps provide us ready-made functionality in many cases, which we can simply make use of by enabling them and integrate into our application. That is one major aspect, no doubt about it. But one very important aspect of mobile app is because of the Azure platform nature, I can say they are highly scalable. That means even if the number of clients increases and it goes into millions, the server capability can be simply scaled up to meet that heavy load and the application would not go down. Yes, they are globally available. Anywhere in the world, people can make use of the mobile device and connect to the mobile apps. And all those facilities which we have seen for web app available through Azure portal are also available to mobile app. Whether it is scaling, security, resilient, available in multiple location and so on. Testing in development and production separately. So likewise, we have all those facilities here also. So first, why do we need mobile apps? Now generally app basically means the native application for a device. Whether it is a Windows store from where you can install the Windows phone apps, or it can be a Google store, Play Store where Google apps can be installed, or similarly we have iPhone. Generally these native apps are different. Their code is different, their approach is different, and their store is different. So we are going to develop now using the app service certain API on server which we can comfortably easily make use of in different devices while developing their client application. For example, if I want to build a native iOS, we have a mobile app SDK which we can make use of in that iOS application development. Likewise, we have Android SDK, Windows Apps SDK. So different SDKs are provided for different types of development platforms so that easily we can make use of those applications. We can make the development of those applications pretty fast. Easily authenticate users with Active Directory and securely connect to on-premise resources. Yes, through mobile apps, once you are authenticating, you can always give access to whether it is SAP on your premise or Oracle database server or SQL Server database server, or even if you have already implemented SharePoint within the organization, the content of the SharePoint through mobile apps services on server can be given to the clients. Social integration with Facebook, Twitter, Google, single sign-on facility, we can say that. We have got, if you are already having an account in Facebook, Using the same identity, you can log into a mobile app. You don't need a separate identity. Offline ready apps with data sync abilities. When you are connected to a mobile app through internet, most of the time the changes which you make to your application, user specific changes, all those will get saved on server. But you can always implement mobile apps offline. We can make use of SQLite database so that all the changes are temporarily saved locally when the connection to internet is not there, and all these changes will be synced with server as soon as the connection becomes available. So offline ready apps with data sync abilities is what is one of the major reason why we should use Azure mobile apps. We can engage our customer with instant push notification. See, the way notifications are supposed to be implemented in each of these devices is supposed to be different. Whether it is iOS app or Android app or Windows app, they are different. But with the API which we get in mobile apps, Azure mobile apps, we can have a common implementation of push notification. So very easily we can push a notification onto the device, which will be reflected in the device notification area, and all this on server we can do it independent of the device. That is important. You can personalize it to their needs and obviously send it only when it is right time. Auto scale, I already said, auto scale to support millions of devices. You can spin up and spin down resources based on actual usage and pay only for what you use. So yes, you have ways of developing mobile applications, but if you are making use of the Azure mobile apps, the life becomes simpler. So what is that we need to learn here? Here we have client SDK, which we have to make use of while connecting to the server. We need to see how authentication and authorization is going to be implemented, how to implement offline sync and push notification. For each one of this, we are going to have a separate chapter. But before I close it, see, this is, let us say, a mobile device. The mobile device is going to have offline sync store, which is going to be SQLite database, let us say. And the SDK which we are going to make use of in developing the application here will convert all its requests into REST format and it will submit to server. So this is all feature of the server. Data sync feature, data connection with the SQL Server database, or it can be MongoDB, or it can be storage account tables. You can have authentication through Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, Google, Active Directory. You can do a push notification to iOS, Android, Windows Phone, Kindle, in-app, so many devices. And of course, you are going to have your all code in the form of web API, which is going to take the request, process it and render the response, which we can do it through Studio. Android Studio can be used, Xamarin can be used. So client can be developed in different ways based on the requirement, but server is always C#. Server can be always either Node.js or always C#. So net to net, what we understand here is when we are talking about mobile application development, we are going to have two components. We are going to have a server side component, which is a web API collection of methods. That means RESTful clients are going to submit a request, and on server REST API, web API methods are going to execute. URL will be mapped to method. And on client, we are going to have different platforms, and for different platform there are different ways of development. Like if you are using iOS, it is Objective-C which you might use. If you are using Android, you might use Java for development. If you want to do Windows apps, yes, you are going to use C#. Like that, we have got Xamarin, which also uses C#, or it can be hybrid applications, common applications for all the platforms, using Cordova, where we use HTML and JavaScript. So in each of them, there is a SDK available which we can simply make use of with ease and let the application on the device directly communicate with the service. So all this is what we are going to cover in subsequent chapter. Thank you.